another episode of Deadliest Warrior. This will be a live commentary on one of my other favorite episodes, Pirate versus the Knight, Medieval Knight to be specific. Don't know why I need to be specific, but just in case. And yeah, this is like an awesome thing because like I loved like the golden days of piracy. That's why I like had like an interest in trying out my first Assassin's Creed game, being the Black Flag. It's supposed to have been representing the one of the best Assassin's Creed games of all time. Everybody raved about Black Flag, but I also had like interest in it because uh, of the whole golden age of piracy was like a huge thing. Uh, with the Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one was better, but obviously, but as each movie went along, they got less and less. I mean, I kind of, lost hope of its uniqueness after the third one, and but just the idea of the whole pirate ethos and mythos, huge interest. Then there's like Black Sails, which I did not realize until like it was either earlier this year or sometime last year, where no, it's probably sometime last year after I binge watched during the shutdown period of the early stages of the pandemic. I binge watched on Hulu Black Sails, and I did not realize Black Sails was like the prequel to Treasure Island, which it's pretty much sharing its storyline, at least like the timeline wise. So all that is like hugely interesting. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and getting right into it with Pirate versus Knight. If you watch this on Amazon Prime or with like DVD, or you already had it downloaded a long time ago, could your timestamp to 0 and follow along with me as we watch. So let me get myself adjusted, and let's press play right now.
Knight, sword-wielding slayer, pirate, murderous during the heist, deadliest, history's most lethal weapon. Using 21st century, we'll see what happens. No warriors. No rules, no safety, no mercy. Subdue it. Who is the deadly? This Los Angeles fight, we've brought together beautiful in ER Doc. It's us, agent. Go. Decide who would win a death match between two of history's most famous warriors. Knight, legendary armored battle tank, refract. 18th century to terrorize the Caribbean.
It's like interesting to see like the comparison of their showing the timelines of their height of popularity. Is a very, very interesting, like the timelines between the two. Is like the pirate is just like just like it's taking like their technology just like showing how it evolved since the time of the medieval knights.
Things are gonna get exciting.
Computer whiz.
And that's another thing. It's interesting. Like you're dealing with like a knight
The data it
who's battling an opponent who has a legit gun.
I've had the customized
Even though it's like a black powder gun, it's still a freaking gun.
As we're dealing with the advent, guns are really going to be a game changer here.
computer will process the data to
I mean, like the only advantage, dealing with someone using like a black powder pistol is because more than likely you only get one shot out of it, the doggone thing. If you ever watch like an old school or period piece kind of a movie where somebody using like black powder weapons, it's like they gotta pack that thing in, load the ball, and then fire. And it's like one shot technically.
But they were killers.
competitive sword fight and combat historian Josh Paul to demonstrate the fighting techniques of the Middle Ages.
Knight lived. They were really deadly, really effective fighting. They were the nobility. They were the upper elite.
Evolved during 9 crusades, almost 1,000 years of war.
They were the Green Beret. They knew how to use all weapons for maximum.
15th century, French knights perfected the twin arts of sting and sting.
This might sound kind of messed up, but warfare and like the way things are with guns these days, it's like
Knight strength, non
it'll probably make somebody nostalgia of the days when they get like warfare like this, where they just it's a little bit more honor and a little bit more like some bit of a respect in a way, it's like where you're using like up close and personal weapons like bludgeoning or knives or something just to be in a person's face rather than like actually using like a gun. I don't know, just something about that seems more like might be archaic, but some level of honor to it, right? And less bloodshed by comparison with what we have with guns these days.
British pirates learned their fighting skills in the Navy during a 10-year war against Spain and France. When peace was declared, sailors were
What can they do? They're not farmers, they're not merchants, they're soldiers. Kill people, take shit. The government is going to give them work. Mercy gives you the opportunity to go what you do best. You get to keep what you take.
formed by years of war. Pirate tactics were brutal.
The boarding party.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of there's probably a fair bit of misconception about pirates. Like, yeah, they were originally naval men before like they became out of work and they had to do something to make money, and they turned to piracy. So they still know how to fight.
In fact, his duty would be to exterminate the pirate.
Knight represents the same government press.
The sinner. He is everything that the knight stands to rid the world of.
A weapon.
The pirate is going to take this battle all the way. He's better equipped and a lot more. He's got a superior short range.
One of the Knight's most lethal short-range weapons was designed to crush, smash. The Morning Star, a ball of brutality swung by a chain, maximum.
This is called the Morning Star. This is a no joke.
It's ironic that like a God-fearing soldiers like medieval knights have a weapon called a Morning Star named after the last name of the devil. Isn't that kind of ironic?
The target, gel torso, with the same consistency as human flesh.
We have tissue and bone and heart and lung that's all the same as human body.
High-tech sensors will record the force of the hit.
Yes?
Yeah,
Morning Star can kill victim and user. Tonight, David Correia wears a modern Kevlar helmet.
You ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice day.
It is great. You can check. There's over 17 times required.
His whole head has been hollowed out.
You split it in two. Good.
Love to see a pirate on the business end of this stick.
Morning, sir. Means that clear is dead.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Ooh, bridge the nose.
Holy cow.
Mandibles.
Yeah.
Guys, ready for that? He's just blood and
Pirate sissies, check this out.
sure.
So that torque.
Morning, Blackbeard. Oh, look at the
Little spark. I mean, you know, you guys were hitting it. Do you have any against it? You have to do is suck in either direction and you miss.
a knight isn't going to run away. No, isn't
What's your strategy?
running.
Well, no, see, you're thinking about
I would love to see a pirate move that it would be the new world. He's not supposed to square off on you. He's supposed to scare you. He comes out of nowhere and he on the floor when you're not looking. That's the whole point of the knight's mission.
there's a whole you guys.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
They knew what they was talking about. It was like, yeah, like the Morning Star,
Radius of that.
even though it was like spinning around, it is a short range weapon, and like, yeah, it's like you can see it. It's like glinting in the sunlight. You can see it twirling, and it's like all you gotta do is like back up a bit, move around and try to get out of his range.
Gunpowder. The battle takes an explosive turn. Deadliest one.
I don't know why they kind of misconstrue that as running away.
Inside out. Is brewing between two warriors dominated. A pirate marauder. Libya. Versus a knight. 15th.
This matchup is so cool because these warriors never met before this show.
When these two warriors face off, they'll each bring their own arsenal of deadly weapons.
Tonight, best weapon. He had the best of everything that you do with the upper feet. No contest.
Pirates got fire. Number one thing here on his
Last 10. With a grenade, flintlock pistol, blunderbuss, and boarding axe.
I love the look of the blunderbuss.
Staff, crossbow, and broadsword. He is also encased in steel.
The knight was covered head to toe in armor, so they didn't have to worry necessarily. Blows coming in, flying at
I think the only
able to concentrate.
weapon I really liked from the knight side is the broadsword.
As a knight charged through the
Probably second, maybe the armor itself.
first.
Night experts believe they're
Well, then the crossbow.
full body defense, yet flexible enough to
On. Both clash heads. I have my mobility. My flexibility. I've got my weapons. I've got not a whole lot. Me, whereas I've got all this. And Knight is an unbelievable.
And
Which would protect
little known fact,
tissue injuries.
from what I hear,
The pirate armor.
the medieval knight's armor, when you're putting on,
forerunner of the modern
excuse me, not as heavy as you might think. It has some weight to it, but the way it's designed is so flexible and like it's just not only offer protection, but it's not cumbersome by all that metal. It's like just thin enough to allow some bit of mobility. Because thicker armor would probably make it a little bit more unwieldy.
Force that you can't see it come hits you, it's gonna do damage.
And also, a little known fact: pirates' ships are the type of wood they use to make pirate ships are usually teak wood, very
Shield holds
durable pieces of wood.
the debate. Team heads to the demolition rig to test the Grenado's power.
We put a couple of pigs in our ring.
One. Goodbye.
There's no way it's going to create enough crew with that.
Knight doesn't have a huge blast, and the shrapnel itself rip through anything.
Come on, but he still got the
Way there. Three, two, one, go!
At such close proximity,
Yeah, baby!
Grenado guts the pig.
Observation. This guy is not covering. Look at this. This massive.
I imagine if you're on set and you get to watch all these weapons go off like a explosive device,
The pig there.
you would be like a little ecstatic, just like how awesome it looks in a non-dangerous setting.
It looks like everything's pretty well. Yeah, there's some dings and some dents. You know, it's a trick.
It's some serious, bro, we just saw.
Shrapnel may not be a death blow when wearing armor. The factors to consider.
Number two, it causes that is disorientation, confusion. And the third thing that is probably the most deadly. And the likelihood that
And knockout. But the knights still believe their armor will protect them from danger.
multiple layers, the pig only had one. Even with something like that, a knight's not down. They're going to be able to because the armor play.
They trained knights. That
The knight was generally born into the fold. They were raised being tested against each other.
Knights have been training their entire lives in numerous different weapons. At a young age, they're already
knights lived and breathed combat. No, kill for the king.
The knight who fights for will always come stronger than himself. The strongest pirate wouldn't be as strong as the weakest knight. There's this misconception. Random village their way on loot and pillage and do reality side of sailors.
Pirates were losing was not an option.
Anywhere you go,
You know,
you're dead.
samurais and then the knights, it's probably the kind of warriors that always tout up their honor code and stuff like that. But by and large, there's like a handful of them because they're still people, and like their code of ethics or honor only can go so far, or they might just turn it back on it at a whim depending on the situation they're in. So it's only as good as as the person that's holding it up. There's probably not as many honorable knights as you might think.
But the knights are ready to return. Coming up, two legendary fighters duel to the death to determine who is the deadly warrior. Medieval Knight versus seafaring pirate. Two warriors and for the collision.
Knight for king for country.
These knights, they're pampered, they're pompous, they'll stay of armor. They send people like them to go do the dirty work.
He's an infidel, sinner.
Who were picking on the weak. Greed is a weak reason to be fighting.
He is everything that a knight to rid the world up.
But absolutely enjoy killing him.
Knight has his way. It will never get close enough to even
Gentlemen, for you, the crossbow. The original sniper rifle.
would pierce up 200 feet away.
Here are the bolts. Wooden one, the iron bolt. This here is. You do it. Or is there? Click on it. And this part here is called where you're gonna put the bolt.
Bow fires wood or lightning fast beams.
Round is which of these are you? That iron. Sorry.
What we have here is a speed trap, two laser beams. The weapon beam starts
That chronometer looks so cool.
known distance.
I love it every time he uses that. Just have like a piece of technology just to check the speed that the moment it goes off the bow or the pistol, and get to see the trajectory. All that is just awesome.
Roughly,
Go take a look.
On the panel. Jeff knows this crossbow bolt.
the velocity of that crossbow is about a 50 range. Looking at. Found it there. Yes. Ooh. Pretty good. 2.5 inches. Enough to hit vital organs if it goes between ribs.
That it was banned. Evil.
To allow knights to kill them. The pirates feel their long distance weapon is of a higher caliber.
You have various flints, which gave the pirate the ability to do damage at distance.
Flintlock pistol. Lethal foundation. All modern guns.
How it works is pull the trigger. That's
Undeniably lethal. The black powder is not a sure shot.
You get one shot.
See in the emergency department, many times one bullet is not going to kill you. A very good chance you're not going to get that.
It's no good to you as far as you can certainly. Anyway,
Knight's armor is one of his greatest assets. Plate in the cave. Firearms can't get through that.
Pirates into the firing range. To prove
Yeah,
it's wrong.
that's a interesting. Here's an interesting thing. When I was younger, when I saw like a pirate on like a movie or a TV show, and they have like all these pistols on their like on these little belts around their clothes,
my armor is
I just thought that was just cool looking. But it turns out that it served a purpose. Obviously, everything they probably did served a purpose to some extent. That you got these archaic pistols that more than likely will only shoot, not more than likely, definitely shoot only one round. And
all clear.
The
then you run out. You can easily reload it, but it takes time, and when you're in a heat of battle, you don't have time to do all that. So you use it as like a bludgeoning weapon at that point.
However, when it doesn't go where you want it to, don't be so quick to judge.
Getting winded with this game. Yeah, it's and it's in a really this.
Here's the bullet. I wanted to give you something to remember me by, just so you keep in mind that you can't penetrate a knight's armor.
High-speed footage reveals the armor deflecting bullet.
All you guys.
This is a flintlock knight armor when it down.
Flintlock. Crossbow versus flesh. Knight is the edge in long range. But the pirate is about to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, like that's yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like archaic pistols. So the type of bullet, the caliber of the bullet of that time, probably wouldn't be as effective against like plated armor like the knight. But it's still like it showed dents, so that means you still feel like some bit of impact. But
two deadly warriors.
Yeah,
Opposite fighting style.
I was, when I first saw this episode, like, I was disappointed with the fact that musket ball from the pistol did not, penetrate, which I thought it would be, because like it's a big hunk of metal, and like if he gets to a certain thin spot, it could like, get through at least somewhat. But that's why they got armor.
Are still used today. For example, sailing season. Ship happens to be a pirate. You don't know it. They're friends. In outside hits the ship. No holds barred. Do what they want. What they want. And if someone's in the way, good to be killed.
Pirate's favorite firearm to get what he wants. The blunderbuss. Its 1-inch barrel unleashed a thunderous, devastating blast.
Blunderbuss was the original shot.
The original shotgun, blunderbuss.
You fire this sucker, and you're dropping whoever's way. Yeah.
But when I used it on the game, I had to be extremely close to make it extremely deadly.
Rip into something.
Because
Render them useless.
further away the enemy is, the less likely it will do anything or kill you at all.
That could mean multiple wounds.
A hand cannon, son.
Yeah. Gonna set the side. You see the same. Yet the weight of those. Who knows what's gonna do that night?
I'm not real convinced by it, so I'm just curious to see what it does with the armor. I mean,
I would love.
hold it like this. Hold it like this. Black power. Turn. There's not enough fire.
That I did not know back when I first saw this episode. The fact that the way you hold this flint weapon, when it requires like flint and black powder, you gotta make sure you hold it in the right way to avoid it spilling out. Otherwise, it'll misfire and not shoot anything.
That's the double.
This isn't a
off the
matter of how many times that's misfired.
Like you're trying to backpedal against the evidence we can see right.
Though most of the gunshot went wide of the target, one pellet penetrated that double right.
Well, that's definitely. But ditching the flint.
The night team is not packing it in.
That's going to steel. So getting through that extra layer of steel can be a big factor.
The Knights have another one, built to upend an arm both. Halberd, slashing, thrusting, hooking poleaxe.
One of the most deadly weapons ever seen, proven through history to be able to take a lot of.
I don't really. When I was playing the game, I never used that halberd as much. I don't know why exactly. It was just like.
But how are you going to use it against?
Help keep distance. Blunderbuss by a few feet. Not going to get. Yes, he has the option of. He gets one shot.
Distance as much as possible. Let's give it a test.
Team brings in a fresh victim. Knights have some.
Hey, Josh, you ready? My mark. 3, 2, 1.
You'll probably have a whole lot of fun testing out these weapons. Just go ham on like a gel torso or a pig and just cause as much carnage. It's probably so cathartic too, you know? Kind of like you get those little special rooms where you get to break plates or, you know, shoot arrows or throw axes. It's just like so cathartic, you know?
Season on.
My favorite night. Versatility. First, you can see.
When it comes to squishy fire, we used to have. It was very easy.
Oh, nice. Here's the back of that.
But is the halberd effective? Blunderbuss.
I don't have to worry about this misfire. Don't miss.
I'm giving the edge to the pirate based on the blunderbuss.
There's no way around it. Blunderbuss, all.
I just like saying the word blunderbuss.
To the blunderbuss.
Blunderbuss.
This match is only starting to get out.
Broadsword.
This will definitely render it.
Coming up, I'd reveal this.
And something about like the look of a cutlass that looks so much cooler.
The deadliest warrior.
But I don't know how would I rank my favorite swords. The katana is obviously number one, obviously.
Big question is whether the
But I kind of like the broadsword. The look of the broadsword is still a little bit better than the cutlass. But it's just like my affinity for the pirates makes me want to use the cutlass a little bit more.
Then you have multiple. One shot. There's a very good chance you're not going to.
sometimes there's no shot at it. So far,
I mean, do you guys got a favorite sword at all?
Do carry cover. And sometimes it's the warrior and not. And that's where the knight. Close knife. There's no chance.
You'll hear that line a lot in this series, that when they mention it's not about the weapon or the armor, it's about the man. It's like, clearly.
the broadsword, full edge, steel blade, designed.
It weighs a great deal. There's a hack. Will break your. would cut off a hack.
Pirate swords with his own legendary blade, the Cutlass. This deviously curved sword is designed to slash in pieces.
And you notice how like thin it looks to the Cutlass.
Broadsword isn't. Bludgeon. Do that. Takes to bring the sword. Bring it down. Here. No cause.
To settle dispute.
That was always so interesting to me. It's like, you know, when a perfectly designed weapon, you know exactly what it does depending on, like, you know, the way it's designed. Because a Cutlass, obviously the way it's designed and curved the way it is meant to be used for close quarters, like on like a boat or something like that, especially that you can still cause a certain amount of damage and you can still be in close or far away if you so choose to. That's like a well-designed type of weapon. It makes your job a whole lot easier when you're fighting.
Broadsword, much more than bludgeoning. Now, with expert David Hernandez, the plate.
Weapon impressive. You have moving target. Step out of the way. Significant. Congratulations.
Fifty-fifty at this point.
Weapons. Both swords are equally lethal. Reveal how wicked short-range weapons that they want to test directly against knights.
Gentlemen, I'm here at board.
Authority axe, designed to hook in wood vessels, chop through thick ropes, smash heads.
Bad boys. Running. My favorite. You can get through something. See how good.
It's so confident. They target the thickest. A helmet.
He has really limited.
Just moving this.
Does the pirate axe have what it takes to puncture the knight's steel helmet?
High speed camera. 3, 2, 1, go. You pierced. Did not expect. Knowledge of the still would get it. According to the pressure matter, it was only 3 PS in this area. A little bit off.
The axe punctured the helmet, not reached the skull.
The hole.
Boarding axe made a little hole. Helmet. Couldn't call it a kill shot. Didn't strike anything. He's got nothing. Go ahead, take it. We'll cleave you in half, and then we'll feel about ourselves.
The test of short-range offense versus defense. The knights gets the edge. Our experts have completed their tests.
All right.
And find they differ on which weapon will give these warriors a killing edge.
You know, I think you're still underrating.
He really does not like that flintlock pistol.
Broadside. Even at 12, we're almost pieces of that. Warrior. Yeah. Computer decide.
Coming up, pirate, knight. Battle begins. Pirate and knight have finished the tests of their most lethal weapon.
All right, testing has been complete.
Deadliest warrior. Our experts test 4 night weapons: the Morning Star, Crossbow, Halberd, Broadsword, as well as the Night.
I'm glad by season 3 they updated their result mechanisms and expanded to like show like X factors and like diet and strategy, disease and all the other stuff. That's because that plays a factor in like a warrior and his lifestyle.
Long range weapons.
Like
flintlock pistol.
like what was that warrior? Pancho Villa, which he's in season 3, had arthritis, so that has to be factor into his results, because that does affect him when trying to pull a gun.
Blunderbuss, kick.
Blunderbuss.
We tested each warrior's
Want to take a ride on the blunderbuss?
Looking at through the computer.
Gotta get up in the morning to catch the blunderbuss.
The warrior's swords. Even. Final test of short range versus defense. Sporting act. The knight.
Does have
Knight. Loads the results into the art computer program that will determine the winner. It will be a battle of opposites. Correct. Armor. He who takes no prisoner. The fight from being won by a single lucky shot. Max will simulate the battle 1,000 times.
Determine who is the deadliest.
All right, here we go. I went dressed as a pirate like at least 4 years back, 4 or 5 years back for Halloween. Pretty sure it's 4 years. But wasn't as good looking as this guy's wearing his pirate outfit. That explosion, it's no joke. Now he's significantly hurt. That's the first time a warrior actually spoke in the reenactment. The pirates that had the very first speaking role just says, "Oh bloody hell," and he actually talked. I'm happy with the result.
Of anything demonstrates what a crucial winning
Halberd was the knight's most lethal weapon, wasn't it? Blunderbuss and grenade most kills in
The knight looked like the warrior. Would be more modern.
The knight was really bringing knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, knife to the gunfight, basically. Okay, that was Pirate versus Knight. Still one of my favorites. I love in the testing and everything that went on. I mean, yeah, the pistols in theory the pistols is deadly, especially against an armored opponent. But as clearly shows, you wearing like a decently plated armor on you, those pistols not as effective. But doesn't mean that you're not dealing with a pirate who might be a little bit more accurate than your average pirate. That on top of having like a blunderbuss who will definitely penetrate that armor, but its effectiveness is close, very close. Further you get away, the less likely it will do any damage. But like they say, it's still, despite it being an archaic gun, it is still a gun. And that's where the knight lose in that situation. But yeah. So what's the next 2 episodes that we'll be doing in the next month? Oh, it'll be the Yakuza versus the Yakuza versus Mafia episode, then the Green Beret versus Spetsnaz episode. And don't know how it's like not out of order, but it's like supposed to be even. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, it's odd numbers. So after next month will be 2 episodes, but the month after that we'll do 3 episodes in a row because it's an odd number of episodes on season 1. So I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Be safe out there, and I'm glad you all are enjoying this, watching along. I see like a significant amount of people with the views on this, probably watching along with me. You guys are amazing, and check out my Deadliest Warrior gameplay on the channel. I got a lot of views from those. It's like a lot of people love this show as much as I do. It's greatly appreciated. Check out my other videos that I have on the channel if you like Overwatch, or like my other live discussions, like the one I just did recently. If you ever watched the Supernatural TV show or the Lucifer Netflix show, I had a discussion talking about what the Lucifer of the Supernatural TV show fought the Lucifer of the Netflix show, and who will win. And I did a rundown with all their like significant powers, and briefly touched on their history and everything like that. And like, you can watch that video and see who I think will win between the two, because there are 2 very iconic like devils, considering that there's been other people who play the devil, but it's in movie format, so not much to draw upon. But those 2 played the devils the longest, and they're very popular, so that was always something that I was curious about. So check that out. And yeah, share these videos around with whomever you think might be interested, family, friends, whatever. And I will see you all next time. Peace.